See what we got here. It says I'm live. Oh, yeah. What's that? What kind of pump? No, I haven't. I'm going to send you for it. Howdy. Oh, you think you're going to go? Actually, I have to go to, yeah. Nothing happened now. It's happening now, you know? It's the happening now. I'm actually going to do the flippy flip camera thing here. There you go. Okay, so here's the loader. This is going to be quick, not really quick. Did a lot of filming on the install yesterday, and I went to upload or download from my camera to my computer, or upload it from my camera to my computer, and for some reason it has lost my footage. I don't know why. It is on the camera, but it is not where it needs to be. So anyways, here's the Westendorf Freedom Mount loader, the bucket and everything. This is pretty well empty, obviously, because I've taken these parts have to go back to Westendorf, the handle and that. The loader's gonna have to get picked up. Here's the hoses and stuff. And here's the hoses that have to go onto the tractor. I'm gonna show you the mounts, but I'm gonna go through this. Well, I use an Olympus Tough Cam, but that's not the problem. I unplugged the camera prematurely from the computer, and it lost it. So in translation, and then when I went to reinstall it, or re-download it or upload it, it won't do it. It's kind of pissing me off. So I had to abandon it. You will get the footage, I'm sure. I just need to do some work to get there. But all of it is there. It's just I lost it in translation. So anyway, here, what I'm gonna talk about is these mounts. These mounts and everything. I've got the hood up. It's just easier to grind and cut and weld. This is the left side mount. Yeah, premature unplugation. That's a pretty good term right there. Anyway, so this is the left side mount. There's nothing spectacular or special about it. They were kind enough to put these holes here, and that's where the toolbox mounts to, right here. So I'll be able to maintain my toolbox. I'll put that on later, like later today. But we will go over to the other side, and then we're gonna get into the cab area. This took an extraordinarily large amount of time to work in this area. Not so much to put the mounts on. I mean, they took several hours for the simple fact and reason that the bolt holes inside the tractor itself had corrosion, and they're metric. They're an 18 millimeter coarse threaded metric. Don't ask me how many millimeters, millimeter thread they are, but they're a real pain in the ass. So I had to clean them out with a wire brush, one that was similar to this one before it got expanded and destroyed when I reversed it. This is the camera that I normally use. This is my Olympus Tough Cam. Good camera. So anyway, then there was the mounting instructions for this, which were useless as tits on a boar hog. This is the valve itself. I don't like it. I think it's flimsy on there. I'm actually thinking of putting a brace here to here and welding that solid when I'm done. I am going to weld a brace from here to here. I'm going to solidify that because I just this part, it's just, to me, it looks like it's going to break off, crack off. There's a piece of pipe that I had to weld fast, which is here, and I welded it there. Obviously, you can see that. I just think it's too flimsy. It's too flimsy for me, and I've got some flat iron, and I'll just make a brace here, and that'll take a lot of that wobble out of there, which will in turn turn into a crack. And then, of course, you got your Hydra Snap technology here, which is really cool. That's just the holding plate, and that got mounted there, and of course, it was too close to here, to the box. It was a pain in the ass, but when you're gonna take your loader off and you don't have all those pesky hoses, there you go. That's it. It's snapped into place. Boom. Flat face Hydra Snap. And that mates up to the loader on the other side. And then, of course, there's this guy here. Computers, farming. Oh, wait a minute. What did you say? Computers and farming both can give you a migraine. They can give you more than a migraine. Yeah, they can give you sterility if you're not careful. But anyway, you've got this guy here. All right. Now, everything that this thing was in the instruction manuals that this thing had was useless, worthless. So what I did was I ground it off and I welded it in. See my beautiful welds? Beautiful. So, and then on the bottom side, there's this plate here, right? So I had to weld that piece on there, and I'm gonna paint it all, obviously. But I had to weld that on there, and I did not like the way that it was supposed to be bolted. Gearhead, hey? Okay. Anyways, I didn't like the way it was supposed to be bolted on, so I just welded the son of a bitch fast. And it is solid. So it's away from everything. It's up off of the ground. It's higher than, it's right at the fuel tank, so it's not going to be low, it's not going to get high centered and tear it off. But that is the Comfort Ride. What that does is there's basically just 2 nitrogen-filled bladders in there that they're shock absorbers for the loader. So when you're going across the field and you hit a bump, the loader will just float in front of the tractor instead of slamming you. So that's just one of the options that you get when you buy the Westendorf loader. You can get it through Deere also. Yeah, and then you've got this joystick. All right, so here's the joystick. Obviously, it's here. We did actually hook it up correctly. It's here. So a lot of guys were saying, "Oh, power shift and a joystick, that's going to suck." Well, no matter what, it's just a joystick, for God's sakes. It's no big deal. It has the electric grapple. I have it hooked up. You can listen. Hear that clicking? So that's, yeah, let me get my fingers out of there. That's for the grapple or even the grabber that I will have on the front of this loader. But no, it actually is quite smooth. So this is your, this is how you operate it. It doesn't seem too bad, so anyway, you can push it either way, blah, blah, blah. It's working. But you go from here to here, from here to here. So you can go reverse, back up to forward, and you're there. Reverse, and you're there. Forward, you're there. To park. It's all handy. It's very close. Now, it took a little bit to get this thing positioned correctly. If I don't like where it's at, I can always loosen up the U-bolts that are on the floor, and then I can move this either farther away or closer, which I don't want it any closer because you don't want the chair to run into it. So that's that. I honestly think that I should take this thing here, heat this up, and bend it up a little bit, because I think it should be bent up. But that's just my own personal preference. I don't know whether it's the right personal preference or not. I think the joystick should be more in a position like this instead of this. I don't know. We'll see. I'll get used to it, I'm sure. But if I don't, then that's what you're going to see me do. Just pull this rubber off of here and, pull that down like that. Give her a heat like so, and then bend it up. So that's just the job. Everything else went pretty good. The Comfort Ride can be turned on and off, like anything else. You could turn on or off. There's a valve in there. And hi England. It's for whoever runs the loader more. Yes, pretty much. It's all just preference. I'll probably be running this loader a lot. My dad is 70 years old, and he's 70 years old, and he says he's retired. So if he's retired, somebody else is going to have to run the loader more often than him, than he does. But all these wires and stuff, this is all for the Comfort Ride. I have to wire it in and then hook it up over here. There is another set of wires that goes there. So it should be good. It should be good. But there's these instructions that are like clear as mud. They're just clear as mud. They really are. The next thing is just the wiring diagram, which is pretty simple. Basically, you got your 12 volt. You got your 12 volt keyed power source, which I have right over here. They're right down in there. I'm just going to hook the Comfort Ride to that, so that it's not gumming everything else up. So that should be good. But yeah, it's pretty simple. These little screws that they gave me, these number 2s here, they sucked. Twisted them off. I got one on, and then the other 2 twisted off, but it's okay because it's just a button. It's not like it's going to move or anything, but it's just a button. So you want to turn the Comfort Ride off, you just do that, or on. It doesn't matter. we'll see. And that'll actually make the tractor feel like it's got front suspension. So that's pretty awesome. But anyway, that's just the deal. It is not as easy to go on as what I expected it to be. It is just not. There's a couple of things that I'm not liking about the install, like this guy right here. This is the grill guard. That goes on here to protect my grill. The problem is I can't have my weight bracket on there. And I like the weight bracket on there. I think the weight bracket is actually stronger than what the grill guard is. So I may be doing some modifications there to put it on. I don't know. It's a strong thing, but I thought it should be wider. That's all. And it's got those gussets in there. And if I was to pull the gussets out, maybe I could put the grill guard or the weight bracket back on, but it doesn't look like it. It just doesn't. So I don't know. I'm a little bit distraught about that. I could take it off, and it just makes the tractor look better if it's on there. I mean, looks of the tractor doesn't mean performance, but if I am going to actually take the loader off and go do tillage with it, because it is an 8120, I mean, it's a tillage tractor. Not that I do that too often, and I need the front weights on there. I take the loader off. I'm gonna have to take the grill guard off and put the loader or the weight bracket back on just so I could go to work in the field. So, who knows? Who the heck knows? I'll figure it out as I go along, and there's no other way of doing it. You know, there's no other way of putting it on there. So, you always have trouble with everything that you do. That's not true, James S. Swanson or James Swanson. That's not true at all. I actually can't say that I'm having trouble. I am just having to do things a little bit differently than what they say in the operators or the instruction manual, because they don't really apply to a 8120. They're more for like a 5210. You know, that's what they are, 5220. Here's another thing. If you ever want to know how this latch system works, when you put that loader on and you cock it down where it belongs, that's it. It's latched. Okay, so there it is, and that's unlatched. It's really simple. Latched and unlatched. Latched, loader's locked in. Unlatched, loader's off. So it works really well. I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, I really am. It's just so simple. But today's job is actually going to be getting that valve hooked up. It's got to be all those hoses that are over there and that mess that's on the ground. I have to get on there. We're supposed to have rain again today and rain again tomorrow. I've got fertilizer going on, hay being loaded, and tarps being put on and changed. So, yeah, that's what we're up to. Most loader tractors don't have weights because the loader gives you the weight. Yes, until you take the loader off. Well, that's exactly what I was saying. So if I want to go do tillage, I'm taking the loader off. Then I want to put weights on. I got to take that bracket off and then wrestle that 150-pound chunk of steel back up on there. And I don't know, I'm just not looking forward to it. I'm just not. I would love to actually just leave the weight bracket on and possibly drill and tap here. Drill and tap the guard for the top of that on the top of this, and then weld a piece to the bottom side of that, so that it is just removable with two, say, 3/4 inch bolts, 2 or 3 or 4 3/4 inch bolts. Nobody's going to complain about that. And then all I have to do is take the bolts out, and then I can put my weight bracket on. So that's all yet to be seen. You know, the other problem with that is the hood. Where's it going to hit, you know? And I'm sure they've got that thing figured out so that it doesn't hit the hood. I mean, that's the whole part, is not hitting the hood. So, wow, Farmall Fanatic, another $5. You can do it. Put your back into it. Yeah, I was just talking to a fella down there, one of the property owners I have, and he's got screws in his back. So putting your back into it could cost you a lot. But yeah, now, so anyways, the plumbing that needs to get done, I have to be underneath the tractor and reroute up to where this filter is. There's a filter back in here someplace. I think it's over there. And then it comes all the way back here to this point. This is the direct plumb area, these two pieces here. and that's where you plumb into the the tractor's hydraulic system to run the loader. So it's always on, you know, so there's always pressure at the loader. Because the old style, or the old way of doing it, was you had just these two hoses here, and you would just turn your selective control valve on and then run the loader then, which I don't like, because then you're going down the road and your comfort ride isn't working. Well, I guess it probably would be working, I don't know. But it just seems better to be directly plumbed into the tractor than not. So, are cast iron and steel the same? No, they are not. Steel is different than cast iron. It's very different. Steel, how could I explain that? See, you know what? Timmy Cornpicker could probably explain the difference between steel and cast iron, if he's still watching. And I'm pretty sure he is the guy you would want to ask that question to, not me. I mean, I know it's very different. But here's Aunt Beth. Got animal poop? Oh my God, the questions that I get. Well, it's deer shit.
No, it's not.
That is deer shit.
No, it's
I
not.
guarantee you that's deer shit.
No, it's not.
Okay. You asked me, I told you don't believe me.
No, I don't believe you.
That's deer shit.
Well, it's really weird.
No, not really. It comes in all forms. Some of it's little
Looks
pellets like a goat.
That's
Yeah.
the only kind I ever saw.
That's deer shit. All right, let's ask the viewers. We're live, you know. So, is that deer shit?
No.
It's deer shit. I'd say it's white-tailed deer shit. Absolutely. Bet you never see that on any channel. Pretty good loader. Blown. Clumped, it's usually a buck.
That's all pasty like that?
Yep.
Or like,
I agree with that. I wasn't going to say it because she wouldn't believe me anyway.
you agree with what?
Deer shit, yup. It's deer shit. Yep. Cat piss? No, you're retarded. James Slevin, you idiot. It's not cat piss. Doesn't even look like piss. It's fly shit from China. Yeah. It's amazing. No, it's shit that comes from Washington, D.C. That's pretty funny. What's it got, Hillary Clinton on it? There's a Daggett and another Daggett. Give it a taste test. That's pretty funny. What the hell are we in? The Pepsi Coke challenge. Deer shit or calf shit? Oh, Clinton shit. Yep, that's it. Taste it to find out if it's deer shit. Well, how would you know? It's not squirrel shit because it doesn't have nuts in it. Right? She didn't see any nuts. Well, that's a good thing. Dinner. Good Lord. This channel went crazy all of a sudden, huh? That's pretty friggin' weird. Is it? No. This is the 8120. The nice thing is I can buy loader brackets for the 8530 and all of this apparatus for the 8530. Then if I need the 8530, the loader on the 8530, it'll mount right up. So, okay. Tim Westendorf. Well, there we go. There we go. Steel iron has different grain structure than different amounts of carbon. I was going to say that. Cast iron is poured into the final shape, and steel is usually hot rolled. Both have way different properties. Correct. Steel is cast or forged. Cast iron is cast into molds. You can cast steel also, I believe, but cast iron, steel is generally forged. Yeah. Good morning. Were you just out at 63 in Palatudor? Or if you're still out there, because I saw that photo and I was like blown away that you were there. Because I think you've been there before. Yep. Yep. Hello from Ireland. Hi from Norway. Cast steel as well. Yep, there is cast steel. Yes, cast steel is pretty hard. It's much stronger than cast iron. Cast iron is brittle. It's tough. It's inflexible. And if you hit it with a sledgehammer, like if you were to come up to this tractor and start beating on it with a sledgehammer, you'd break it. My favorite tractor. I used to say the 4320 was my favorite tractor. Cast steel and cast iron are different, and they are both different from cold rolled to hot rolled steel. Yeah, there's a lot of differences. My favorite tractor right now is still the 8530. I just think that thing's a beast. But yes, welding cast steel, yeah, or cast iron is pretty tough. You need to get yourself over to Scotland. I'd love to be in Scotland right now. Beautiful country there. I need to get in contact with you about something with your product. Okay, what's wrong with my product? $6.65. Sorry about the Teresa comment. That's okay. She's a pretty tough girl. She just chooses not to be on film at the moment. Eventually, she will be back on there, but I expect she'll be back on before Christmas. You know, just before Christmas. She's quite the sweetheart. But hello from Wisconsin and Alabama and Ireland and Scotland and yeah. So anyway, I think I've been on here long enough. My driver's here. You can hear the Jake brake coming in. Yeah, Teresa is awesome. She just needs cool down time. That's correct. Yeah. What's the update on 4320? Just needs batteries. That's it. St. Louis, Missouri. Get her done. Get to work. Hello, South Florida West. Yes, howdy. Germania. I want to go to Germany. Jörg Sprave, or the Slingshot channel. The sad thing about that is they're trying to shut him down. I mean, there needs to be a petition signed. The freaking idiots. But they're trying to shut him down on YouTube. The government is, because of his style of channel. Ridiculous. I definitely would go to Croatia. Portugal. I'd go to Portugal too. I'm going to end up there in a sailboat at some point in my life. Yeah, that's the plan. Small hay bales, yeah, okay. Ottawa, Canada. Hello from Middle Tennessee. Yes, I'm glad I remind you of your grandfather, but I'm not that old. I mean, I'm only 46, 46 years old. I guess I could be a grandfather, You could tell Tim to hurry up. But, France is cool. I'll just stay away from Paris. Parisians are idiots. I'm sorry. Hello from Belgium. Belgium was a country that I was in. It was gorgeous. I loved it there. More for a lover than it is for a daughter. I brought my daughter there, and she had a lot of fun. So did I. But Tim Westendorf, Central Illinois, back to work. Stay safe and keep cool. Not a problem. Teresa is funny. Ireland. Old frig, I'm 43. Not old at all. Yeah, I'm 42 and a grandfather. Wow. Yeah, I could have been a grandfather much younger, but I'm not. Stay out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm a young buck, is what they say. Yep. So anyway, I gotta go. My driver's gonna come in here. I gotta get him paid, and life will be good. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the actual footage on this thing. Probably coming tomorrow, not today. So have a great day.